Hello everyone and welcome back to my Shogi channel, and in today's video I will take a look at the games between Hattori Shinichiro and Funae Kohei. And I believe this game happened in the 72nd Osho Title, and this is the just the first round. And in this game Hattori will be Sente and Funae Kohei will be Gote. And well, two player opening the game with the opening Joko Fudori. I believe this is a side pawn capture, a very hard opening for both the player. And well, after the move rook take pawn on 3-4, Gote can take the pawn on 7-6. But instead of doing that, Gote just bring the king to 4-2 to protect the silver and the rook and the gold on 3-2. Okay, king to 5-8, pawn to 7-4. I believe this move is to make a room for the silver to go to 7-3 to advance to the square 6-4. Now rook back to 3-6 to protect this pawn. Bishop to 3-3. Pawn drop on 8-7 to attacking the rook. Now the rook have to move, but if it's not a good idea to move the rook to the old square like the square a2. Well, because Hattori can sacrifice the rook to the bishop on 3-3 with promotion and comes with check. And after, for example, knight take, he can bring the bishop to 5-5 to attack this rook. And now it's very hard to find a good move for defending here. So instead of bring the rook to the old square, he just bring the rook backward one square to square 8-5. Okay, now rook goes to 2-6. Put pressure on the knight here now, and the silver goes to 2-2, preventing the rook can take the knight in the next move. Okay, silver advance to 3-8, silver to 7-2. Both player develop their pieces into the game. Pawn to 3-6, pawn drop on 2-5, attacking the rook. Now the rook have to move. Rook move back to 8. Now knight, instead of bring the silver to 7-3 like usual, Funae bring the knight to 7-3. Very interesting move. Now knight to 3-7. Now Hattori can maybe take this pawn in the next move. Okay, now you can see almost all pieces of Funae is already developed. Now but instead of bring the gold to 6-2, Gote just brings the king into the center. Okay, it's a good move. And now Hattori has two choices. He can take the pawn or just ignore the pawn and develop his pieces. Well, it's not. It will be a very bad move to take this pawn. Like, I mean, if you take this pawn with knight, well, bishop can take bishop here. After silver take back, pawn can drop on 2-4, and it is very likely this knight will be lost in the next move. Nothing can protect this knight. If you take with the rook, it's the same thing. After rook take, knight take, well, bishop trade, silver take, and just drop a pawn on 2-4, and this knight will be lost in the next move. It can be run on any square, and both the square is controlled by Funae pieces. So he just bring the gold to 4-8. Nice development. This gold can make a very strong hole in the center for Hattori king. Okay, pawn drop on 8-6, pawn take, rook take, and now in he can drop back the pawn on h7 to kick the rook away, but he doesn't need to do that. He just bring the rook to 9. Okay, and now pawn advance on 2-6. Well, this move is like a sacrifice move. Well, if I believe if Hattori um, takes this pawn, well, after bishop trade, silver take, bishop can drop on 4-4, attacking both the rook and the silver. If the rook run away, well, he can sacrifice the bishop on silver on h8, and now the left side of Hattori will be collapsing. So he doesn't take this pawn. He advancing the pawn to 4-6. Maybe the silver can come to 4-7 to well, protect some square in the center. Now rotate the pawn advance to a 6-6 now, and now the bishop along diagonal has been cut. Okay, pawn drop on h6, pawn drop on h7 now, and rotate the pawn. Well, this is a good move, because now after the trade, Funae has a bishop, and this bishop can, drop on a lot of square to attack this king. Like he can drop the bishop on 9-4 to attack the king. Well, the two bishop on the board is very strong. So, okay, after the trade, Hattori is very careful here. He's drop a pawn on 7-7 to stop. The bishop can take the lance in the next move. Okay, pawn drop on 3-5. Well, they cannot take because Funae just drop a pawn on 3-6, and after the 9 move, I don't know where, maybe toward the center. And now Hattori has weaknesses, a very weak square on 3-7. Okay, instead of because of that, instead of taking the pawn, he used the rook to take the pawn on 2-6. Okay, pawn drop on 2-5, and now this is a very important moment, and Hattori Shinichiro need to be very focused here. If he take this pawn with the rook, it will be a very bad move, and he will likely to come to the end game with disadvantage. Well, because pawn can take here with promotion, attacking the goal. If the goal take back, well, just drop a bishop on 3-4. A fork, a very nice fork the rook and the knight. Well, the rook run away. The bishop can take the knight with promotion now, and this promoted bishop is very strong. Well, if if he decided to bring the goal here to attack the bishop, doesn't matter. The bishop can come back to 3-3. Well, and well, the game is still very complicated, but Funae still has an advantage here. Well, because he have a very strong promoted pawn on 8-5. So instead of taking the pawn, he drop back the rook to 2-9, but unfortunately, I believe this is a very bad move for him. Well, I mean, this is very passive move, because after you move back the rook here, now you can see this 2 pawn is put a lot of pressure on the 6 on the 6th row. So although he cannot take the pawn with the rook, he can, well, just take the pawn with the knight. What happened? Well, if Funae take this pawn, rook take, well, he can drop the bishop on 4, but just bring the silver to 4-7 to close bishop diagonal. Well, Gote cannot take the knight because he will lose the go on 3-2. Well, he can drop the pawn here to attack the knight, but just bring the pawn to 1-6, pawn take 9, pawn 1-5, bishop have to move, and now pawn drop on 2-4. I mean, it's very hard to move the bishop. You have to move the bishop on 1-2, but just advance the pawn on 4, and now you have to say a lot of pressure of Sante to the 1-2 first and the second 5 of Funae Kohei. So yeah, it would be a much better move if Hattori just take this pawn with the knight instead of make a very passive move like bring the rook back to knight. Okay, pawn take, and now the knight have to move. Well, you can push the pawn to toward one square to attack the knight, but maybe Funae Kohei, he just afraid of this exposure king, so he just keep this pawn very low, just bring the knight toward, and now, well, you can take the knight, no problem at all. But Hattori decided to bring the go to 6-7 to attack the bishop. Go back to 4-4. Now knight take with promotion. Okay, silver take back and pawn drop on 6-4. Well, this nice little move. If Funae take this pawn, well, he can drop this knife here on knight 6. Well, bishop move run away like to the square 3-5. He can take this pawn with check and also attacking this silver. Of course, this bishop have to move to 5-5 to protect this pawn out, and this bishop position is very bad to defense, and this like a very good target to attack. So instead of taking this pawn, Funae did a very good job here. He just take this pawn with promotion, and knight drop on 8-4 to attack this silver. And now this is a very crucial moment, because although Gote up in this game so far, but the game is still very complicated, and one bad move can cost Funae Kohei a game. So in this game, he decided to drop the knight on 7-5 to well, attacking this goal, and this is a very bad move, and and I believe after this move the game is back to equal. Okay, so well, the reason because this move is bad, because after go run away to 4-6, well, Gote has nothing to do here. This king is very safe. There's no way to attack this king, and if Funae try to defend this silver, like come silver to a3, it is just make the situation worse. Well, he can take this pawn with promote. King have to take, very likely, and now pawn drop on 6-4. Well, the king had to move back, and now rook can drop on a2, check the king, and also attacking the silver. King move, and now, well, of course not taking the silver, because bishop can drop on 9-4 to attacking the king, also attacking the promoted rook. Now just bring the rook to h1 to attacking this goal and attacking this land, and next move this pawn can come to 6-3 with promotion, and the position, the Gote position will be collapsed very quickly. So instead of dropping this knight, you just can, well, drop the bishop here. pinning this go. This go cannot move. And now next move he can drop a knight. And now this bishop can also protect this silver. This bishop drop is like the best move. It just do a lot of things. But for some reason Gote cannot spot this move, and he do a very bad move like dropping the knight. Okay, go run away. And now you can see Funae need to attack because it's very hard to defend here. He take this pawn, just knight take the silver, go take, and I don't know, just drop the rook here to attack both the lands, and this king is stuck. This king has a very few square to move. It's very hard to defend. So he need to attack, and he try to sacrifice a knight. Okay, king take, and bishop drop on knight for attacking the king. Well, the king have to move, or Hattori drop something. Okay, he dropped the pawn on h5, knight take, go to 4-5, attacking the bishop. Knight take the pawn, no promotion, so he can take this knight in the next move. King comes to 5-6, and now knight take knight with promotion. Now this promoted knight can take the silver or the land in the next move. Okay, now if you look at this position, you can see Hattori Shinichiro. He is the one who has a big advantage here. First, while he has a rook in his hand, this rook can drop like anywhere to attack, right? And the second thing is, I mean, the most important thing is his king. This king is very safe in the center. It has a lot of square to run, right? A lot of square to run, and this king, I mean, it looks like this very safe, but it's not very safe at all. If Hattori drop this rook here, you can see the king is kind of surrounded by Hattori pieces, and very hard to run away. Okay, now knight takes silver, go take, and now silver drop on rook drop on h1. Okay, controlling the first round. Okay, now bishop take the lands with promote, silver drop on 4-1 with the fork on the king and the go. King have to run on square 6-2. Okay, silver take the go with promotion. Knight drop on 4-4. King just run away, and this king is very safe. I mean, it's very hard attacking this king. Okay, knight drop on 5-5. Go take, promoted bishop take, and now knight drop on a5. A very good move. First, this move stop king this bishop to comes to square 6-7 to promote, and now this knight put a lot of pressure on the square 7-3. Now this king cannot run away to square 7-3. Okay, go drop on a 7-1. Rook move back to 8-4 with promotion. Bishop take, silver take, and go comes to a3, and this move it looks like a good move because it kicking the promoted rook away, but this is a big mistake. And after this move, I mean, Hattori is very up in this game, and this Funae Kohei doesn't have any chances left. As you can see, this move allows the sacrifice promoted rook on the go. Bishop take, and now go can drop on 8-4, attacking back the silver. and as you can see, the situation is very bad. The silver cannot go anywhere, and this go here and this knight here control the square 7-3, and the king cannot run. So the better move in this position is not bring the go here to attacking this promoted rook. Yeah, well, the best move here, I believe, is just sacrificing the bishop to the knight, and after rook take, and now, well, you can drop knight here to keep attacking, and well, king have to go to the square 8, 5-8, and now knight, promoted knight take silver. Now I mean, Hattori Shinichiro still has an advantage here, but still Funae has some chances to attack. Well, but he decided to attacking the rook, and I mean, after this moment, well, the game is decided. Okay, promoted bishop comes to 6-5 to attacking the king. Silver drop to preventing this. Knight take, pawn take. Last drop on 5-4, put the pressure on this pawn. And now knight comes to 7-3 with promotion, and we check king back and taking the bishop. And now you can see this this king is in danger. Okay, bishop take, we check, king take the pawn drop here to taking the king, king back, pawn advancing to taking the king, and now the king just need to come to 1-8, a very safe square. And after this position on move 107, Funae Kohei decided to resign the game. Well, the reason he decided to do that, because he cannot attack and he cannot defend as well. If he try to attack, like dropping the silver here, I mean the only move, I guess, just, well, Hattori just need to take the silver back. And now he can take the silver with the pawn, but rook can take back. And now what he gonna do? He can drop silver here, but king comes to 2-8, and nothing he can do. I mean, nothing he can do. His king is in danger and likely to be met in the next few moves. Well, I mean, he can sacrifice the bishop, king take, pawn take, but still, nothing happen here. Like, I mean, Hattori can just drop the go here, attacking the king. Go take back. King have to move somewhere. I don't know, maybe the square h1, but this mid threat. Just dropping the go here on 4-2, and Hattori can win the game very easily. So, if you try to defense, like dropping the silver here, just like usual, dropping the go here, go take. King have to move, and now just dropping the bishop on 6-1, attacking the king. The king has one square to go. Is square for 1, and now Hattori can kill the game with the move go drop on 3-2, and now the king has no square to go. It's a checkmate. So that's why Gote decided to reset the game after Sente moved back queen to square 1-8. Well, very excited game. Both players has some chances in the game, and although Hattori Shinichiro, he kind of up in the middle game, but in the end game, Funae Kohei executed the end game better, and he not Funae Kohei. Although Funae Kohei, he up in the middle game, and he has some chances in the middle game, but Hattori Shinichiro, he executed the end game much better, and that's why he win the game. And I think my analysis video will be end here, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.